Welcome back to Momentous Inspiration. We're here for episode 4 of the Southeastern Team Championship, finally, about 2 months after the game and about 1 month before Season 4 is going to release. I'm Brian Will.
Hey, but we did it. We got them all in. I'm Lon Sims.
Yeah, we finally got them all in. We'll have a couple more games, probably some shorts that we're going to post, but we're not going to do quite as detailed analysis because really Season 4 is coming up, and we're pretty sure that most people are caring more about that.
Yep.
So today we've got Engineers versus Union from the final 3 tables. These were the 2 top teams. We've got Jason White for the Engineers and Mark Goodman playing Union. And
Josh White.
What'd I say?
Yep. Jason.
I said Jason.
This is Josh White. Good old Josh White from Greenville, the Dojo. And then we got Mark Goodman from Nashville.
I don't know why I said Jason, because Josh is the one I played in the last round of the tournament that you ran over at Game Theory.
Yeah,
so
the Starcher Slayer, Josh White.
Yep. Yeah. We can talk about that more later, or maybe not, because I'm still embarrassed. Anyway, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's do it.
1, 2, 3.
All right, so on the left, the models look pretty dark. They're actually painted, I think, but it's going to be Josh White's Engineers. And on the right, we have Mark Goodman's Union.
It looks like we are probably mid-deployment here. It looks like they've already done their draft. We got Josh has picked Ballista, Mother, Ratchet, Hoist, Velocity, and Harriet.
And for Mark, we've got Vet Rage, Pride, Benediction, Gutter, Decimate, and Mist. I feel like I think that may be actually the exact same Vet Rage team that we saw early in one of our early games. No, there was Harry. Excuse me. Yeah. There was Harry instead of Decimate. That's what it was.
Rage, Pride, Ben, Gutter, Mist, Decimate.
We saw Harry for that very first Union versus Union match. That's what the difference was.
It looks like, is Josh kicking off?
Yes, Josh is kicking off. I believe he's kicking off with Velocity. Who I don't think she was. I think she was included, but I don't think she saw quite as much use for some of the other Engineers players in this tournament.
Velocity is from what I understand, I think Josh favors her a little bit more than some other folks do.
Well, the game that we were talking about just a second ago, when I played him in the finals at the Raleigh tournament, he had her on the table.
Yeah.
I think he likes the close control, general high stat line, and the fact that she can score flexibly from so many places on the pitch.
And just from top to bottom on your screen here, you've got Velocity kicking, you've got Ballista, and then Hoist, and then Mother, Ratchet, and that can't be right, Josh or Brian. You got Mother's at the very bottom.
Yeah, I don't know what I was doing. Apparently, I was drinking heavily.
Well, anyway, we got Velocity kicking off, and I think that's Harriet next to her.
Yep.
And then it's Ballista. And then someone?
Let's see. Ballista, then I think that is Ratchet. Then Hoist, then Mother.
Yeah, and then Mother.
Yeah. My apologies.
On Mark's side, it looks like you've got Mist.
Mist very top. I think that's... is that Decimate above? Because it's Vet Rage that is third, and then it's Pride, Benediction, and...
It looks like Gutter's on the bottom,
yeah.
So yeah, it must be Decimate.
Turns out that it can just be flat out hard to tell some of these models apart, and actually fairly heavily shadowed. I think that this was late enough in the day that it was only above the overhead lights at this point.
Right.
Hey, Pride stands out though. He's easy to tell.
Oh yeah. So Josh looks like he scrubbed his kickoff and just handing the ball over.
Yeah, he was trying to jam it onto the obstacle, and I think he just rolled his direction wrong each time. So he was going for an aggressive kickoff that would force him to retrieve the ball fast, but doesn't always work.
All right, let's see here.
So I'll be covering Mark on the right side. So I didn't actually write down their allocations this time, did I?
That's okay. We'll make it work.
Yeah. But the ball is on gutter. I believe gutter has either 1 or 2. And gutter's just going to jog and pass it benediction, which will succeed. And I believe he banks the momentum.
And we got mother activating here. Just gonna run up in just a little bit.
Yep, just measuring distances to gutter, I guess.
Nests.
Yep, set up so that if Hoist wants to get a run, it looks like he's got a pretty easy setup there. Benediction pass to Rage, and that succeeds.
Nice.
Yeah, well, actually, I guess judging from the distance on the lines, going in Season 4, that would have been an even easier pass.
Oh, yeah.
I'm curious how impactful that rule is really going to be. I think on turn 1 it could see a lot of impact, but
yeah, I think it's going to be pretty important too, because you can be a little riskier kicking from an engaged point of view as well.
That's true. Yeah, suddenly going down or kicking to an engaged model and maybe needing that 4 instead of going up to a 5, which is a pretty big difference.
You got a velocity, just kind of did a little baby jog there and in the cover and put up nimble.
Yep. And actually, that was decimate all the way to the top, not missed. We had it incorrect. I knew something seemed a little off. So that was decimate, just sprinting up and around the forest.
So it looks like we got a ratchet activation here.
This all feels very familiar from having played engineers before.
He's tooling up Hoist here.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to put the Blast Earth on bin and gutter.
Has Blast Earth, is that range 8?
It's 10.
It's 10? Okay.
Got for 2 on gutter and 2 on bin.
Yep.
And he just stands still. Wonder if he forgot his jog or if he did that on purpose.
I think he wiggled just a little forward, but that's about it.
I gotcha.
We got Pride jogging, just going and getting that nice counter charge set up.
It looks like Hoist is going to Blast Earth as well.
We'll say one of the things you can tell from top table is these pair, they both look fairly mechanical. They know what they want to do. They know how to line it up quickly.
So he missed bin there. He did hit gutter for an extra 3 though.
But well, he hit benediction with one of them and missed gutter with that one, and then he hit gutter with the next one and missed benediction with the next one. So we got them both because there were 4 on Hoist. So we've got a Vet Rage pass to Mist, which I believe succeeds. And he just banks it.
Looks like he's contemplating where he's gonna advance with Rage here.
Yeah. I know, as we've had enough union games in this tournament. I mean, we've seen him do tons of work from all over the pitch. So think he quick timed himself or quick time missed one of the two, and just jogs.
He quick time missed?
No, quick timed himself. Excuse me. He hadn't jogged yet. I'm just reading off the script ahead of myself. No, he didn't quick time missed. I don't think Mist really needs the quick time, actually. Yep, just bouncing him around trying to figure out his placement. That's all.
Yeah. So Harry will get a free character play here.
Yeah.
And just looks like we're going to be wailing on gutter some more.
I can't say I blame him. I'd say Mike. Not Mike. Good Lord, I am off today.
Gosh.
Josh is making a very considered effort to um, put some damage into Gutter
Mhm.
early and keep Gutter from affecting the board.
Yep. So he threw 2 on her, but only hit one of them.
Yep.
So I think Gutter has taken 2, 5, 7 damage.
I think that
Somewhere around
sounds
there.
about right. Hit with 1 blaster for 2, then a blaster for 3, then a sucker for 2. So yep, 7 damage. So that's what, about half her health roughly.
Mm-hmm.
And we have the mist activation. And I believe that, yeah, it's only Ballista left on the other side.
And he's engaging velocity there and going to take a shot.
Yep. So we had Shadow-like. I think he smoked himself, sprinted, acrobatics, the full deal. And he gets the goal.
That's 4.
I noticed that you weren't trying to keep score by this point in the day.
Yeah, I guess I got smart, huh?
Hey, you had done it so many times, I can't really fault you. So, and we got the ball just kind of landing right near Hoist, but I believe he is not snapping the ball to Hoist.
So we got Mark at 2 momentum and Josh at 4. So he's looking like he's trying to see about possibly shooting that lion.
Yep. I think is he shooting the line, or is he just checking counter charge range there? Oh, that's right. Yeah. He's actually shooting Gutter.
Mm-hmm.
So he was just checking, probably for next turn, I believe, on the lion. Just making sure he's in the right position, because judging from what he's doing early, I'm assuming he's going to try to go in and kill Gutter.
Mm-hmm. Probably try to kill Gutter and then shoot a goal.
Yep.
Because Gutter's going to be on like 4 health at this point.
Yep. She's on exactly 4. She's taken 10 damage. 4 or 5. I can never remember her health pool if it's 14 or 15.
I think it's 14. So that's what I would be looking at is trying that goal. But you got to be careful with Pride, because Pride can counterattack or charge.
Well, I think that's what he was lining up the deadbolt for next turn.
Mm-hmm.
Was if he lines up the deadbolt properly,
Mm-hmm.
with Gutter on
Shoots
the
the lion. Yeah, make sure he can't countercharge.
exactly.
Yeah.
So unfortunately I did not get Mark's card here. I do not know what it is at all. But Josh got go for the knees, and he put the +1 tack on Hoist.
Loading up Ballista there.
Yeah, well, I think kill Gutter. Probably. I mean, if I had to guess the order of operations, knock down Deadbolt Pride, go take a couple of swings, kill Gutter, shoot the goal.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty straightforward turn.
Yeah, you do have to be careful about watching out for both Ben and Rage would be coming into an already activated Ballista.
I think he might just be chalking that up as being worth it. That's going to be my guess. I would think is just the sig point activation for the 2-point trade. Although the ball being active again and basically being able to be kicked out to mist.
Yeah, and actually that's an interesting piece of terrain right there, because if you were to put Ballista right smack in the middle of it, Rage might be more than 1 inch away.
Yeah, the biggest question is the goal.
You can't push somebody that's on the obstacle.
Yep. So for the Union, there were 4 on Mist, 4 on Benediction, 4 on Rage, and 1 on Gutter.
So he misses the deadbolt on Pride, so now he's got to be real careful.
So we're about to get into a very extended part here. That's going to take a little while, because So I'm a little jumping the gun here, but there's going to be a rules interaction that's really squirrely. Ballista's going to be he's going to have to figure out where to place Ballista that he doesn't get countercharged. It gets pretty interesting here.
Mhm. Are you going to cut this from the final, or are you going to leave it
I'm
in?
I'm going to leave this part in because this is just him. This part's just going to stay because this
No,
is
I
him
mean
trying to
where
figure
we
out.
talk about rules for 6 minutes.
Oh no, no, because we're just going
Okay.
to jump. We're just going to jump ahead. So we got about four
Okay.
minutes, and something does happen here in a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
So we appreciate you bearing with us. If you're not really very interested in this, skip to about 2 minutes from now to about it'll be somewhere close to the 16 and a half minute mark. I don't know exactly what it'll be after we've added in the intro and everything, but a couple minutes ahead of here should be where the action starts again. For the moment, it's going to be a lot of measurement. The biggest
Yeah.
problem being that he has to make sure that he can't get knocked down or anything by Pride. That
Hmm.
missed deadbolt just completely tanked his entire game plan.
So what they're trying to figure out here is he's saying that if he lands at that spot where the little token is, that he will get countercharged, but Pride will not be able to engage. But they're trying to make sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of angles measurement because Pride is. I mean, he's what, a 40 mil base, I guess, or is he a 50?
He's at 50.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's a big boy, which is kind of why the countercharge can be pretty awkward.
yeah. I think it's one of the balancing things for having a countercharging mascot is
Hmm.
making him work for it a little bit harder.
Yep.
Um, and while I'm thinking about it, there are 6 on Ballista. There's 6 on Ballista, 1 on Ratchet, 2 on Harriet, and 4 on Hoist. Thinking about it, I understand why he was going for Ballista first. But since it hinged entirely on the deadbolt, there's a part of me that wonders if it might not have been better to load up somebody like Harriet.
I mean, it's a 2-die deadbolt on a F3 model.
Yeah.
It's
I was just thinking of the fact that
get like
if he loads up
90% odds, something like that.
Harriet, then he has 3 shots at 2 damage on Gutter. That was my thought. But
Well, then he activates Harriet and someone can come in and get the ball.
that's the problem. Well, I guess Mist is parked like not even 6 inches away from him actually, so that's a good point.
Yeah. So I think it was the right thing to do. I just think he got a little bit unlucky.
Yeah, that's. I mean, my speculation there is pretty much entirely hindsight, to be honest, of knowing what happened. Um, I do agree
You
with
don't
you.
really expect to hit a deadbolt on a 3. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and then
Yeah,
he
they're
has
still
the.
trying to figure this out.
He would have had attack. He would have had attack penalty probably from Benediction engaging him,
Hmm.
but it still should have been more than enough to be able to score the goal and everything.
So they made the determination that he could countercharge, but he would not be able to. It would be a failed charge for being at a melee.
Yep. So Ballista's moving on to the obstacle, and this is something that will no longer be relevant in a few weeks.
Yeah. So he does Momentous 2 to Gutter. He's got 2 left. He just pops the Momentous Minefield.
Yep.
And swing him one more time. Bonus time. Gets the Momentous 2 for the takeout.
Yep. And Gutter is now dead. And
He bought second wind.
but he can't. That's the problem.
Yeah, he can't because he's not. Yeah, he's not taking into account the fact that he
Missed the deadbolt.
missed the deadbolt.
Yep. When he did the momentous minefield, I think he got a little bit off his plan. I think he got a little bit rattled.
Yeah.
And okay, yeah.
And he's just out of 10 as well.
Yep. So he's got all the wrong combination. And unfortunately, that's just called everything seeming to go wrong simultaneously. So
Yep.
he is looking at kicking the ball off the side of the pitch, and I think we're about to hit 1831.
Yep. So just in case if anybody wants to know what's going to go on here, is he's talking about kicking the ball off the obstacle, But if you actually can't do that, because what will end up happening is the ball will end touching the obstacle right where it fell off. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect
So
sense.
so he it's not actually something that you can really do. And I would encourage you all to check this out on the rules forum, because it's a fairly rare interaction, but it's coming into handy here. So he actually can't really kick this into space, because it's gonna fall off the obstacle, a millionth of a millimeter off, and then stop.
So what we're going to do really quick is you'll notice a skip that's about to occur here in just a moment,
Hmm.
and then we're going to skip about 6 minutes of rules interaction because that's not really content.
Yeah.
So if you want to go to 25 on.
All right. I'm at 2502.
Okay, one sec. I'm at 2503, so close enough.
All right. Ready? Go.
All right, welcome back. So we see Lon's hand
This
as
is
he
me
makes a
telling.
ruling.
Yeah. I'm telling him to keep his influence until he decides if he wants to actually do this or not.
Yep. So basically, if I'm not mistaken on the rule, basically the idea is it's an extrapolation of the same idea. If you kick the ball and it
Hmm.
runs into an
So I'm telling him it's
obstacle,
going to end there. If he kicks it
yeah,
off, if he tries to kick it into space, it's just going to stop right there, basically.
yep, exact same thing as if you were trying to kick over an obstacle. It's
Hmm.
the exact same rule, just occurring from sitting on top of it this time.
Yep.
And again, in season 4, that won't matter at all because won't be able to stand on top of
You
it.
can't stand up there anymore. Yep.
I think there's other reasons, but this kind of rules interaction probably was one of the things that does make that an easy decision for them. I think not being able to interact with players, not being able to push them or make other moves, probably had more to do with it. But
Yeah.
this is still a pretty good reason. So,
Right.
um,
So I think he's trying to decide if he's going to do this or not. It's still on Josh right at the moment.
yep. So he's gone
You
a
can
little
see
bit.
he's in deep thought there.
Yeah, he's a little in the tank trying to figure out how he's going to try to make this entire combination work. Unfortunately for Josh, losing track of his influence and not getting the second wind really hurt because it.
Well, I mean, even just again back to missing that deadbolt. I mean, he put the deadbolt on the line. He can get closer. He's going to get into a goal shot. And he's going to have a 6-point activation.
Yeah.
So he's going to legendary, and he's going to pass it to Mother.
And he misses.
What? Oh my God! Forward eye pass to Mother misses.
Deviation
Whoa.
deviation doesn't matter whatsoever because. And you'll see him moving the ball to right there, which is the closest point roughly. And this is an example of the dice just going to crap for a moment.
Yeah. And it stops off the obstacle again, exactly like we were talking about.
Yep.
Oh,
Unfortunately,
I think that's a pretty rough ballista activation there.
well, I mean, unfortunately, that's Josh didn't. Josh, I think, would love to have some of that taken back and make a better activation, but unfortunately, that's also just partially dice. It
Yeah.
really sucks, but now here's a question: could he have snapped the ball back onto Ballista?
Yes. Because it would be placed.
That's what I thought. So I don't know if he said I'm not sure if he said he didn't want to do that or if he didn't think of it or.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It looks like we're gonna have missed about to shoot again though.
Yep. So I believe Mist is within 6 inches of Benediction.
Yeah.
It looks like it's about right. It's pretty close.
All right.
And he's also smoking I believe that Mark is actually smoking a template pipe.
That's funny.
No, unfortunately, this is a really rough spot for Josh because that's basically an instant down 8-2. And his captain's had a kind of ineffectual activation, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you got to risk it for the biscuit.
Yeah, this time the biscuit sucked.
No biscuits, Josh. I'm sorry.
Tell you what, Josh, come back. If you happen to ever watch this, come back to Raleigh. We'll give you a biscuit.
So basically, Mist just ran up to grab that ball and shooting again. 5-die shot. I already see the 6, and yeah.
Nope, that was an attack on
Oh wait,
Harriet.
that was an attack. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, just hits Harriet for 1 damage. He was just trying to build some momentum, I think, just
Right.
because currently all he has is 1 momentum, so it's a non-bonus time goal.
Right.
But Josh does hit it, and the score will go up
Mark
to
hits
8
it.
to Mark.
Yep.
Okay, everybody, pay attention to Juan.
I'll be in charge of names now.
Yeah, I am off today, so Mark hits the goal.
So yeah, 8-2. Mm-hmm.
Mark, now I'll have to apologize to you for calling you Josh.
And that's just one of those games where sometimes Mist just wins the game by himself mostly. Looks like that's kind of happening here.
Yep, that's one of my favorite.
The ball's landing right on. The ball's going right back to Mist. Oh
yep,
man!
He tried to deviate it over to be near Hoist and Mother, and instead, of course, the ball just
hit a 1. Yeah, it's like direction 1, distance 6. That's about it. That's pretty rough.
At this point, this is what you can describe as all the dice just going against Josh at this point. And it sucks. I mean, that happens sometimes, but he's kind of had a number of key rolls just all tank at the wrong time.
Well, let's see how it goes, though. I mean, Josh is a really good player. So.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. There is.
I want to see if he still has the engineer badge while you talk about Mark's turn.
All right. So I think in there we just had Ratchet tooling up Harriet and overclocking Hoist and moving up. That's all. So he's now measuring from Benediction. Think he's checking out distance to Harriet from the look of it. And you'll get my entertaining filler while we wait on Lon.
Here he is, Josh Well-oiled Machine White. He is currently... Oh, I lost him.
All right, so Josh is scooting forward. Not sure if that was... I think that was a charge. Because it's either a sprint or a charge, but...
he is 51st right now on the long shanks. And let's see how he's doing on the engineers. Fourth on the engineer. Previous holder of the badge.
Okay. Not a slouch.
30-10 record.
So from Benediction, we got a Momentous Push and another Momentous Push have been hit. And he'll make his third attack.
Mark Goodman's up there too. Martin Goodman's 86.
And we got the double push on Harriet. Oh, both of these guys are very good players. I mean, they both played this game very clean, very quickly. It's very evident both of them know what they're doing and they're comfortable with it.
He's currently sitting on a 7-1 union record.
It's not too bad. Not too bad at all. I don't remember what his record was from this tournament, but I think he did pretty well, as I recall.
We could find out.
So we had a Harriet jog there, and she has no hits on missed, followed by another no hits on missed.
Yuck.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the easiest swing, but that's still... Does Harriet...
You know what? I recall, now that you mention it, Mark Goodman actually did have a really good finish in the tournament. We'll get into that in a minute.
Okay. Yeah, I know Harriet didn't have a great chance of doing a ton, but if somehow he had spiked and had hit the push dodge, he could have at least, maybe gotten Harriet out of the way of rage. Maybe give a chance to survive.
So we got a defensive stance and a counterattack.
Yep, Rage had to quick time himself to move himself forward and charging Harriet. So that jog made him do the quick time, I guess, because it took Harriet just back out of range. He did put Bloody Coin on himself.
Mm-hmm. As you do.
Yeah, yeah.
Boom, splashing them dice.
Um, so we've got a momentous four. We've got a momentous four push for the first result for Rage. Just bringing her in a little closer.
It's actually a little bit of a squishier engineer team than I'm used to seeing.
Yeah. We have another momentous 4 damage here. Yeah, with having Harriet and Velocity in particular, that team is pretty susceptible to. They don't take a beating nearly as well as some of the engineer teams, do they?
Yeah. I'm normally
And
used to
final,
seeing Josh
yeah,
running
and final
Colossus. Go ahead.
momentous 3 damage for Rage's last attack. Sorry. Yeah, I was trying to remember. He ran. I know I'd seen him run Colossus. I guess Colossus instead of Harriet in the tournament that I had seen. So yeah. Um, but I hadn't seen him since then, and that was back in the spring. So very different setup.
Yep. Trying out the new toys. Trying out the
Oh yeah.
Harriets. And one thing I will notice, just in this, and I know that you guys can't hear the audio on this, but just the clockworkness of this, the activations here is pretty incredible. These guys are both sitting on more than 30 minutes on their clocks, and they're about to be done with turn 2.
Yeah, we are on the starting the fourth activations of turn 2. And both these guys are already being at 15 minutes after all of that. That's not too bad. So
especially considering Josh had that one really long turn.
Yep. Although a good amount of that was paused because the rules interaction.
Yeah.
So it was long, but it wasn't quite as long as it seemed like. So we had a charge from Hoist on Mist for free because of overclock. And Mist did Death Stance, and we got the push dodge. And Hoist does have attack bonus also from the card, so he is swinging 3 extra dice from crowds. As I hop in on your territory and explain what Josh is doing.
No, it's okay. This gets a 2 damage push dodge. I'll be interested to see what they do with Hoist in Season 4.
Yeah,
Hoist is just one of those models that just seems clearly above the bell curve.
I think it's... I like the idea with true replication, but it also has some serious flaws to it. It can get kind of abusive in some situations.
I don't think... I mean, I would be pretty surprised to see him lose true replication, but just maybe somehow make him a little easier to kill or something like that would make me happy.
Either sturdier or tough hide, maybe.
Yeah.
I would
see how it goes.
I mean, right now, I think part of it, sturdy is probably to me the more offensive rule, because it just makes him so hard to. He can walk out of a lot of parting blows and other things. It just makes him really, really obnoxious to deal with.
Tough hide's pretty rough too for a lot of teams to deal with.
So hoisted a momentous 2 push dodge, then a momentous tackle, and he missed the pass to Mother because Josh is not allowed to actually succeed with any passes of this game.
5 to the 5. I don't think that's going to be able to intercept.
Nope, it's not. This is not something you usually see, an engineer's team that's actually having trouble getting their passes to work.
And he does heal Harriet up to 8 HP.
Yeah, try to make her at least a little bit. She's still going to die if Rage is in her face like that, but you can try to give her a little bit of help.
Right.
So one thing I do find interesting, thinking about it, going into Season 4, actually, that Ballista activation earlier, second wind will be going down to a 1 cost.
Yeah, but it's a 4-inch dodge now.
Yeah, but it's still, he was only a speed 5 anyway, so it's not that much difference for him.
I mean, it's not that much difference for him, but if you think about it, a lot of times people would be putting second wind on models like Decimate,
Oh yeah.
or models like Filet, and they're going 7. So
No, but
it's
I'm just saying for the way things
right,
went on this particular turn.
yeah, for sure.
So we just got a decimate
Probably
jog
would have
for
rather
Mark.
have that version, yeah.
Yeah. Mother drops her nest to snag the loose ball. Looks like. I've rarely seen that ability actually used. I honestly had almost entirely forgotten it existed.
Drop the nest to get the ball, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, are we gonna have a mother goal here?
We can only
She
hope.
can do it. She goes pretty far.
Yep. So we just had a pride jog.
The lion sees the mother goal coming. But it won't matter if she teleports to a nest. It won't trigger counter charge.
Yep. And we have the last activation for Josh, which was just velocity jogging in.
Just get some crowds.
Yep. Mess with rage a little bit. I hate to say it here for the engineer player, but I think that I think I would be willing to go out on a limb and say that the Union player's in the better spot right now.
You think it's 4-2 or 8-2?
8-2.
It's got good board control.
Mark played fullback, and Josh played midfield general. So Mark will be going first, which, that thing we were saying about the Union player being in the better position, that's about to get even better. Yeah, unfortunately, I think everything that could go wrong, maybe not everything, but a lot of the things that could go wrong there for Josh went wrong all in one turn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, it happens.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of all started with that missed deadbolt, and then it just cascaded, sadly.
Yeah.
So for the Union player, bringing Gutter back on in the back, but he's got 4 on Rage, 4 on Benediction, 4 on Decimate, 1 on Pride, and 1 on Mist from his card, I believe.
I'm curious
from the goal, excuse me.
I'm curious to see him bring Gutter over there because you would imagine Gutter could maybe make a play on Mother. But they might be scared of Ballista pushing her off or something like that.
Between Deadbolt and his native pushes, I bet he could actually do it.
Yeah. She's only jogging back on 6, so she goes, diagonal 6, then that's probably like 4 inches from the edge. He'd probably push her off.
Yeah. I know all about that because that's basically that was functionally how I lost the game to Josh because I wasn't paying attention. I was trying to get Thresher into some fast ground.
That I remember.
And I was about an inch and a half away from the edge, and he did not have the courtesy to miss his deadbolt.
How dare he?
Yeah, Josh, I've never forgiven you for that. But it was a great game.
We don't have a engineer player here in Raleigh, a dedicated engineer.
No, might have to talk to Cody.
To forget about, yeah.
Might have to talk to Cody and see at the very least if I can see about borrowing his models or something and maybe pick them up a little bit.
I've got an engineer team sitting in the closet you can borrow.
Oh, you do?
Mm-hmm.
I'm already borrowing 1 team from you. Might as well make it 2.
Yeah, I'll have to see if I can remember.
All right, so we got a Rage Legendary, like you do, and he smacks Harriet.
Harriet's probably going to be dead.
Yep, Momentous 4 push on the very first swing. That's not going to turn out well.
Yep.
Followed by a Momentous 2 on Harriet.
And then we get a Momentous dead.
Momentous dead. Momentous 3 technically, but really it didn't matter. If he hit any result, she was dead.
So now Mark's on 10 points, 10-2.
Yep. I mean, I think this is basically, especially considering Miss got the freebie goal that he really wasn't counting on, I think this is about as perfectly as Mark could hope for it to go.
Yeah, but remember game 1?
Yep.
Where Where Mike clawed it back from 10-2.
Although the pitch does feel a little different than it did on that one, I will say.
I guess that's true. Yeah.
Because he called back from 10-2, but he also had some board control.
Right.
Like the other Union team was scattered. Like there was a definite different feel to everything.
Right.
And then I can't remember what the guy's name that he played was. Had the courtesy to finally not land a goad on Rage before he did anything else. So we did have one attack on Velocity from Rage, did Momentous 3 damage, and that was the end of Rage. Velocity did keep him from getting a free charge.
Yeah, acrobatic out. I am going to plug that episode. If you haven't watched episode 1 of this, go back and do so because it is a treat.
Yeah, it's a very tight, very well played game by both players. It's a really, really enjoyable game. Honestly, you know what? I'll just say, just go watch all of our games. We'll just plug all of them. So while we got just some movement going on, Velocity just ran away. We got Benediction kind of wiggling around here. So our first game was a really tight comeback.
Union, yeah.
Yeah, comeback match. Second game was Engineers versus Union, so similar to this, slightly different lineup. And then game 3 was Fish versus Blacksmith. And if you have never seen Corsair played, go watch it so you know exactly what Corsair wants to do and what he does. That is quite simply probably one of the most clear-cut Corsair games I could imagine.
Frank.
Yep.
So, I think he might have gone undefeated at WTC.
3-1. I looked it up because I was curious. I'm pretty sure he went 3-1.
Gotcha.
If he went 4-0 and he hears this, then my apologies. But I'm about 90% sure it was 3-1 because I was keeping an eye on that team. Really, really hoping. They got really close to pulling out a finals match, but
yeah. So let's see. We just had Benediction move up a little bit. He had a Momentous 3 double push on Ratchet. He did the Momentous knockdown. 4 damage. Wow, that's
well, he had two crowds and the Rage Legendary, so that was that's a lot of dice going down.
Right.
And Ratchet's only a 3-1 if I recall correctly. Sorry about that. So yeah, I mean at this point he's just basically picking Ratchet to be his sacrificial victim to end the game. That's There's no real two ways about it. He's up 10-2, and all he needs to do is get a kill, and there's no good way for Ratchet to get out of this. Because I don't think... Does Ratchet have push dodges? I have never actually seen Ratchet in Melee, so I don't know what his playbook looks like.
I don't think he has push dodges. I think he just pushes.
Yep, he just pushes. Push on 2. He's got a push on 2, 2 push on 3, and a 1 double push on 1. So unless he gets some insane dice, he's going to be in a bad spot. And he's going to take a swing on Mist.
Got the 1 damage on Mist there.
Yeah. Going strong.
The Mist activating. He's just going to take a quick swing. Oh, he's healing first.
Yep. He's actually taken a pretty good bit of a beating in there, I think. So we got Mist just hitting a Momentous dodge, I believe.
Yep. Just a good old Momentous dodge there. 2 results.
Yep, no big deal.
Did you see the news today? Mist is getting his Momentous tackle back.
Yeah, I threw up in my mouth a little bit, not gonna lie.
Oh, come on. Mist.
Yeah.
Take it away, give it back.
I mean, yeah, whatever.
Rage needs help, man. Come on.
I'm curious if Rage will have any changes. Um, I mean, honestly, this might be coming out. I'm gonna try to have it out at least a couple weeks before we get the changeover, but I'll
Yeah.
be curious to see if Rage changes a little bit. So if Miss getting the Momentous Tackle has less effect, if it's not adding more onto the Rage machine quite as badly as we think.
Well, I've said it again. I've said it before. I'll say it again. A lot of times, Mist just wins games by himself.
Yep.
So this isn't gonna dampen that at all. I mean,
No,
assuming
he's
the
just
rest of
simply.
his card stays similar.
Um, I mean, no, with his mobility anyway, if he can just simply yank the ball, yeah, he's going. There will be games that he will win purely on the back of that ability.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a successful deadbolt from Ballista. Got Decimate back, try to keep him from getting the instant kill to win the game right here and now.
Right. Decimate's still pretty fast though. He's got a momentum.
Oh yeah.
9 inches, the 1 inch reach, 10 inches. Doesn't really look like there's that much you can hit.
No, we just got
Let's
a
see.
casual gutter jog there.
These lines, if you're a first time watcher, these horizontal lines are 2 inches wide each. So he'd be about 2, 4, 6, 8. Just outside of 10 of any money relevant, really.
Yeah. I mean, Ratchet's going to be his money pick there because of trying to get damage on him. The biggest question with it is going to come down to who's got the most momentum at the beginning of the next turn. That's going to control the activation order.
What does this roll for here?
Parting Blow. Hoist is walking out of Benediction.
Okay. Hoist is jogging out of Benedictions.
Yep. Benediction hit the knockdown, but it just burned sturdy.
Mm-hmm. I'm calling the judge real quick.
Oh, it's because he was still going to have a crowd from Mist at the time, I think. It didn't have to do with. So he wasn't adding dice for the crowd, but because he was engaged and because of Bloody Coin, it was a question of whether he got the extra dice for that. Because Mist can't actually do anything whatsoever. Cannot do anything whatsoever to Hoist because he can't even. I think he only has 1 damage. So.
Right.
And that's Lon's hand. Everybody say hey to
Yeah.
Lon's hand.
Hola.
Say bye, Lon's hand. Actually, I think this was the only game where they really had any judge calls, if I recall correctly. Yep. So we had.
Yeah, so they
We had
dice. Yeah.
Yeah. So we had a knockdown from.
Yeah.
We had the knockdown from Benediction, but with Hoist having sturdy, it just burns that. No big deal.
So what they were trying to say is, does he still get the coin, the Bloody Coin bonus when he walks away? And the answer to that is yes, as long as there's still a model engaging.
Yeah. He doesn't get the crowding bonus, but it was a relatively low risk thing for Hoist to do because he couldn't be knocked down,
So it looks like he's finishing his jog and he's gonna blast Earth on somebody.
Yep. So he's trying to get all 3 of them right there. And on the first one, he hits only Rage, so casually triggered that Rising Anger.
Wow.
And on the second one, he hits everybody. So 2 damage each to Miss Benediction and Rage.
Yep. Spreading a little bit of damage around there. Might be a little too late though. We'll see. I don't know.
Well, I mean, dice can always happen. They happen to him, so.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if he got a little bit of luck somehow and took out Rage, then things could turn quite a bit.
So Lion just put up his gaze, and he's just looking at how far the spider can get, and he's trying to see if the spider can score now.
Yep. which unfortunately the spider needs about 2 more inches, well, really about an inch more kick, basically.
I think the spider's what, a 3-4?
Yeah, I think 3-4 sounds about right. Yeah,
2-4. 2-4.
2-4. Okay.
Yeah.
So auto tap in range, but unfortunately,
Mm-hmm.
it's coming up just about. It looks like just about an inch to an inch and a half shy.
Yep. That's actually is one of the things I'm a little bit sad about in season 4 is the way the tap-ins work now. I mean, it's cool that you get to tap in on the kick, but mascot like Mother always got a tap in, and now she will not.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, she might still be able to get close enough to get it, but
Right.
I understand what they're doing with that. But it does take a little bit of the fun, in some ways, out of it. But I would rather have them. I would rather have them keep the rule consistent between the different kinds of kick instead of having a.
Yeah. But hey, the one thing that's a little weird is like Football Legend makes you have half measurements, which I don't know that the game has really had half measurements up to this point. But
Now, one other thing I'll be curious going in season 4 is if nest markers will still remain something you cannot interact with. That's something I'll be curious about.
yeah, I'm doubtful.
So am I, but so Mother ultimately just sprints there. Since he couldn't get in range, he's just going up to be close enough to be able to get in range on a subsequent turn.
Guess might spend momentum to stand up, and there's looks like gonna sprint and
Sprint and second wind to wrap all the way around. Yeah.
mm-hmm.
And you get us being very quiet for the moment. Not much going on other than them just kind of jockeying for position at this point.
Wrapping up the end of the turn here.
Yep. Which, I'm going to reiterate something you said earlier. There are 20 and 25 minutes left at the end of turn 3.
Pretty quick game.
Yeah, it's very quick. So, yeah, I mean, you can kind of tell from, I don't know what the momentum score exactly is, but Mark is ahead, and Mark will win this. Josh plays Don't Touch the Hair. But it's, I feel like Josh has kind of done everything he can here, but he had a couple of key rolls just go so horribly. And like you said, won the game all by himself. I mean, Mist accounted for 8 points with no.
He got that first turn goal, and then he was able to capitalize off the misfortune of the. First of all, the missing the deadbolt into a different type of play, and then the other backup play not even working. So, Mist capitalized on that second instance.
Yeah, that was
pretty. Rage is gonna get kills, so he's already got one, and he's just looking for the second one to win the game.
Yeah. So 89% chance for him to hit the deadbolt earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I just remembered that GB Manager does odds calculation for me. Yeah.
So looks like Mother is going to try to score here. Throw some points on the board.
Come on, Mother. So Benediction had a Momentous double push, Momentous knockdown, Momentous 2 double push.
Well, it hasn't happened yet.
And a Momentous 3 and a 1 on Ratchet. So Benediction doing work, actually.
It hasn't happened yet.
Oh, wait. Am I going to have to cut that all out? Son of a...
Just in case that's what's about to happen. And then
guess who?
I threw you off because I said that Mother's allocation looked like she's going to try to score.
Yeah, and I started looking down at my script, and then I just was like, oh, this must have happened. Well, for anybody who wonders what's going to happen, you can now tell the future because I'm going to be too lazy to cut that out. Also, because otherwise you're just going to have like a solid minute of silence. But
it's all
good. I was just so eager, man.
Yeah. So Ben's throwing a lot of dice here.
That's the Momentous double push I was talking about.
Yeah. Old Ratchet getting pulled back in, tractor beam.
Yep. Well, Ratchet defensively is one of the weak spots on the squad. If you can get into him, he folds like a wet paper towel.
Knocks him down.
Yep. So, if you weren't listening to me before, he now does Momentous 2
Yeah.
double push.
And we got one more attack. I think that's actually it.
Yep.
Oh, no, he's
Yep,
got
there's
one
the
more.
last. Wait. Oh, did I jump the gun there? I may have jumped the
Yeah, he's
gun
got
a
one
little
more.
bit. Yeah. No,
Wrap on that one.
Yeah, that was the last attack. That was the Momentous 3+1. So that was the last one.
Yep. And we got
So
spider goal. Here we go.
spider goal.
He
Come on,
said,
spider.
Josh just said, let's make the score look respectable.
It's kind of unfortunate. Feel bad for Josh here. Like you said, making the score respectable. But I mean, he's tried to do what he could to pull himself back in the game. And Mark's a good player.
Yeah.
Mark's just capitalized on every single, and he misses the tap in.
No. I can't
So,
believe it.
I don't want to say that dice entirely defined this game, but they had an impact.
Well, as you said, I mean, sometimes you get unlucky with character plays and passes, and then your opponent taking advantage of such a thing, and that's a skill.
Yep.
Knowing when to take advantage of your opponent's bad luck.
Yep, and he's done exactly that. So we have Rage charging Ratchet.
I can't imagine Ratchet gets out of this one.
I don't think it's a spoiler alert if I say that we're about to see a handshake.
Dice. Yeah.
Yeah, and he wraps for good measure too. So he wrapped by 5 dice. He had almost everything.
Yeah.
So there we go, folks.
Yeah. So that's 12 hits. Yeah. Just should.
Yeah.
Good game. Yeah, that was a good one. But just in case anyone was not aware, although Josh did drop this game, both his teammates won, which allowed his team, the Dojo, won to go and win the tournament.
Yep. So congratulations very much to Dojo 1. They played very well. They got some good matchups, and then they took advantage of it.
And also congratulations to Mark, because Mark actually had the best individual score of the day. So he was 4-0. And
oh, wow.
He had the highest strength of schedule of all the 4-0s.
I did not actually realize that.
Yep.
Well, congratulations, Mark. And like I said, congratulations, Dojo 1. I think I've gotten to meet all of those guys, if I'm not mistaken, and they are a good group of guys.
Oh yeah. And that's that'd be the last game of the Southeast Team Championship.
Was Mike Rhodes on Dojo 1?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you would like to see one of the games from one of the other guys from Dojo 1, the first game, the one that we mentioned, Union versus Union, was Mike Rhodes.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see him playing his Union if you would like a little bit of variety.
Yep. And that would be the last game of the Southeastern Team Tournament. What do we got coming up after this, Brian?
So from here on out, one of my goals, with the exception of if I get the chance to record big tournaments like SETC, we're actually going to go to a faster format. For anybody who saw Witness Me about a year ago when we tried this for the first time, we did about 45-minute episodes with a sped up turn, and we kind of broke it down in between turns. That's what I'm going to be shooting for going forward. I don't want to be trying to edit an hour and a half to 2 hours of audio and trying to do the video editing for that much again. So,
well, cool. Well, thanks, guys. Thanks as always for joining us here, and hope to get you some more
excuse me.
soon.
Excuse me, I did forget also, because this may be up before the other one. If I have not already posted it, we got a local Eric that we did a reaction to some of the blogs from season 4. It's gonna be a little behind, a little later than I was hoping for, but we'll still get that posted.
That sounds fun. A little reaction.
Yeah, just talking about some of the different captains, because between the two of us, or some of the different blog posts, because between the two of us, we've each got some experience for the most part. So
cool.
So yeah,
All
that's all
right.
my plugs. Do you want to plug your site really quick,
Yeah,
Lon?
make sure to keep up with everything on Momentous Tackle, momentustackle.wordpress.com. And you can check out these videos, and you can also check out some fun articles.
Yep. And as always, in the comments or via email, send us any feedback, any recommendations. We are always open, and we definitely would appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Yep. Have a good one, guys.
Mhm.